back to Cuyahoga Sound Podcast.
Woohoo!
Cool.
Yeah.
And we're here with Nick Creme.
Excellent.
Nick
Happy to be
Creme,
here.
yeah, good to have you, man.
Which is a real name.
That's right.
That's
yeah.
the first thing we established.
Cool. Nick Creme of Camel Butter is how I'm familiar with him, but he's also got solo project. He's got a nice business. Tell us about your endeavors. Introduce yourself and give us the lowdown.
Yeah, so play guitar in Camel Butter. As a group, there's 5 of us. I love those guys. I'm sure we'll get more into that.
Oh, yeah.
Eternal is my solo project. That's something I've been doing for like 10 years, kind of just on and off, not super something that I want to like, it's just more for my own personal joy of making music, I guess.
Yeah.
And then the skill set that I built from that kind of transformed into using it with the band, so that's been a big help there.
Nice.
And just like kind of been maybe a little more focusing on the band as of late, but I'd like to kind of get back into the studio for my solo stuff. And
Yeah.
I've had a lot of ideas running where I just kind of
Cool.
don't know where to go with it.
What is your genre that you like to put on Camel Butter, or the fusion?
Yeah, it's like we're kind of just playing jazz, but with new school thoughts. So we got new synthesizers. I got effects on my guitar that's like they probably wouldn't have had 40, 60 years ago, and like it's kind of just taking that idea and carrying it forward. And I think we've kind of accepted that, especially with the live setting. We want it to be a different thing every time. We're not trying to hit every note, same thing
Yeah.
every show. We want it to be, even if you've heard that song before, you've never heard that song that way before.
Yeah.
Cool.
So it's a mindset, and it kind of I think keeps us a little free. It also keeps you on your toes a little bit, which
Yeah.
it's a little more fun for me.
Keeps things from getting stale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No doubt. I don't know if I could do the thing where you just gotta, note for note, you gotta play the solo the exact same way you played it on the record. Like that, I understand it. Like, don't get me wrong. There's definitely, especially when you get into like the master shredders, there's an amount of technicality there that not just anybody can do. Like, I get it, but that's not personally where I want to be.
Yeah.
We just talked to Grav about that. The guys in
Yeah.
Grav were in here for the second episode, and about the show. No two shows being the same.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. No two sections being the same way twice. Cool. I'm a fan of that.
Yeah, same here.
For sure.
That's where
Especially
the fun.
at the local kind of stage, if you want people to keep coming back, you can't keep playing the same show over and over again. Hey, I saw that last time. What the heck? Yeah.
So do you have a lot of new songs come from that, experimentation going on
Yeah,
stage?
absolutely. And even just in practice, we record all of our practices and just jams and improvs. And then, like, a lot of times we look back like, hey, man, that was wicked. We just reverse engineer it and keep working on it. And then eventually it becomes a song. And that's been a couple songs up to this point.
Yeah.
So that's always fun.
Yeah.
Just using the moment to kind of discover something new.
Cool. Is everyone mic'd up in your practices when you record, or you record the room?
So everybody's DI except the drums and the auxiliary percussionist. So yeah, we're
Cool.
And then we have vocal mics too. But
Cool. What's your instruments in the band? You said a 5 piece.
so I play the guitar. We have Jan on the bass. We have Luke on the keyboards. Blake is the drummer, and Jazeel is the auxiliary percussionist.
Cool. Auxiliary percussion.
Yeah,
Cool,
he's
man.
been kind of consistently expanding his little corner of the studio. It started with just like 2 bongos and 2 congas, and now it's like a whole spot.
have
It's sweet.
everything.
Yeah, it's like every practice, I hear a new sound coming from there. I'm like, oh wait, whoa, I like that one.
You guys ever throw vocals in?
Yes, yeah, we've got one song right now that's pretty much finished that we want to actually like get recorded and do really well tracking, because actually everything that we've released has kind of just been not a planned recording, if that makes sense. It was just kind of like either a practice recording or a live show.
It sounds like
So-
that. Like you didn't take it too serious, which I like.
Yeah,
I like
yeah.
the
There's,
sound.
I mean, if you really listen, there's mistakes in there and stuff, and it's just one of those things. But it's
jazz.
that feeling of live. Yeah, exactly. It's that I think there is a little bit too much polish nowadays in music where it almost ends up feeling plastic, and you lose that emotion of like, it's
Yeah.
all right. Like I don't know. There's the jazz thought where there is no wrong note. It's just kind of the context of everything around it. But like, there's also just kind of, I think, the exploratory effect and the putting yourself out there and like taking the risk to make the mistake that people appreciate.
Yeah, for sure. That's where you find all those fun things. you know,
Yeah.
like when you're taking the risk, that's when you find things you've never played before and something that keeps it fresh for you.
For sure.
At least that's the way I find it.
I think music listeners are smart enough like to just be able to respect that and like be able to point that out.
I'm never listening again because he missed that note.
No, I
done.
can feel this more, like I can feel the players playing.
Yeah.
Instead of just hearing the music.
It's actually interesting because it's like, I don't know, my parents are older. My dad just turned 70, and they share it with their friends who are, it's just older age group, and like they're all very into what we're doing because it's very reminiscent of the music that they kind of grew up listening to, and it's very interesting that we're bringing that back in a sense, but like taking it forward in the same step because with I don't know, a new approach and new different experiences and different influences from current day material that we're also throwing in because like we're all huge fans of Dopapod and Papadozio and kind of just some of the newer jam bands too. So,
Which other ones you want to throw out there for influences?
so Lotus is definitely another big one. As far as guitar influences,
the
I gotta say
Godfathers.
John Scofield is like one of the just big reasons I play guitar and am into the kind of style of guitar that I play or just like enjoy listening to. I've also recently been really digging the old jazz guitarists like Wes Montgomery, Grant Green, and just kind of that old bop kind of 60s, 70s stuff, which is they were having a lot of fun just playing high energy stuff, and like I listen to that and I really like outside of some of like maybe the quality of the recording or just like the instruments that they're playing that you can just tell are age, that time period that like some of the music you could put it on a stage today at a jam festival and it would be just fine.
Yeah.
Like it's really cool to see that and like kind of I think we want to carry that energy forward.
Cool.
Yeah, that's very cool.
What's the age range of your band?
I think 24 to I'm oldest at 31.
All right, cool.
So yeah,
Young guys.
little wide range. I'm kind of
Yeah.
But it's a good fit.
We were trying to describe your sound with our last guest, and we both kind of had a funkadelic type sound to it too.
Yes, definitely. So I live with our keyboardist. Our cat is named Bernie after Bernie Worrell, the keyboardist who played in P-Funk and a bunch of other projects. But yeah, it's
Your keyboard is amazing. What's his name again?
his name's Luke.
Luke.
Fitzwater, and he is absolutely
he's shredding
phenomenal.
that thing.
Yeah.
He's pretty much self-taught, and he's only been playing for probably going on 5 years, maybe at this point. And like,
Wow.
yeah, his
I quit.
range of I mean, it's a testament to the amount of practice that he's put in, and I think it's kind of also just him. He plays in another band called Fatback Mango, which is a bunch of other, older guys. I'm sure they'll know, but they're all over 40, and approaching maybe 70. So they play old funk covers. So he plays a lot of Parliament. He plays stuff like that in that band, and they're a lot of fun.
Yeah.
You guys should try to get them on here. I think they would have some great stories for you about
Tell him
Cleveland.
to hit up Charlie Wilson. He was talking about doing a funkadelic tribute.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. They
Set
already
up.
do it. I've
Yeah.
seen them play a couple times, and they have some fun with it.
Cool.
We actually opened for them at the Winchester one time, so Luke was doing double duty
Oh,
that
nice.
show. Yeah,
All
we
right.
got actually a couple band members in. Blake is also in Rubik's Groove.
Rubik's Groove.
Yeah,
right,
he plays auxiliary with them. And then
Blake's cool.
Yeah.
I met him at Nelson Ledges in like 2015 or 16, and like my band that was playing there, like we were setting up our camp with our banner. I remember he had a ladder, and I needed a ladder, and that's how I first met him. Like to put the banner up in the
Nice.
trees.
Yeah.
Well, tell him I said what's up.
I will do that. Yeah, Blake's a great guy. We're fortunate. Not all of us even like knew each other before the band. It's kind of amazing how well the personalities all fit together. I think that's kind of a big part of it.
How'd you all come together? Were you in a band before this?
Not full time. I kind of
solo.
tried out for a couple bands and nothing really stuck. And then me and Luke and Blake kind of started jamming. And then we did actually form another band with a different bassist that lasted for one show. And then we never heard from our bassist again. And it's kind of just, I still have his amp. We don't have any hard feelings against him. It's kinda like, just never heard from him again. So I think he kind of got busy with his job and he was in another project at the time. And just
Where was that show at?
that was at the Dome in Kent, and we played.
Dome in Kent.
We played for my parents' friends, and the other two bands that were on the bill that day
Oh,
because
man.
it was in the summer in Kent. And
Yeah.
there's just nobody there. Nobody
The
even
one
knows
time I was
that-
at a show at the Dome in Kent.
Nobody
that's what
plays.
it was like.
Yeah, nobody even knows that their show's there. They think it's still a strip club. So it is what it is. It was fun though. We had a good time. The other bands were cool. I think it was a band called Zap Black from Indianapolis, and they were wild all over the place, just kind of avant-garde. Some like. Yeah, I don't even know. I can't even do it justice on it as far as the description. It was just wild. It was a fun time.
Cool,
And
man.
yeah, I'm glad to meet him. But
Great. I've been trying to catch your show like so many times if something's. I'll have a gig somewhere else, so like, or I'll have plans that night. But I've like listened to you guys all the time, like when I'm just chilling, or like sometimes I'm go to bed or making love. Man, let me tell you how your music for that aspect of life works perfectly.
That's
To anyone out there,
what we
guys,
like to
anyone
hear.
out there, guys,
We want some
put
Camel
that
Butter
track
babies.
on. When you're making babies.
yeah, that makes us happy. We actually play like when we started. We're very much kind of tapped into that smooth, sexy R&B. We actually had like a just loose jam called just like R&B sex or something like that. It was just But it's fun, you know what I mean? That's just like it's that tapping into that love making mood. Just, I don't know. I think part of that is the percussion side of it. They kind of they keep a good rhythm. They keep the groove moving. It's just, yeah,
Awesome.
it's fun.
Cool.
I love the tempo changes going on too. You know, the way you guys are going in and out, faster to slow. It's like, I was listening to the live one you got on Spotify.
Yeah.
You know, and I forget which track it was, but one of them, I'm like, somebody fuck up there? It's like, oh no, everything's dying down here. They're bringing it low. They're bringing it low. You know.
Yeah, some of that's planned, some of it's unplanned, and we just
That's-
all are
Go with
able
it.
to turn on a dime, and like it's surprising, and like it's really a testament to the shared mind of like, creative like energy. You know what I mean? Like they've done studies that show that musicians actually their brain waves link up while playing collaborative music,
Yeah.
and like I 100% believe that to be true because I've experienced it because there's things that can't really be explained otherwise. Like,
Can you give us some insight on like a band like this, but that you're doing, like what your rehearsals are like when, like how do you guys communicate to each other musically, like while you're in songs and you want to do something different or go to a different path?
some of it is just it's kind of inaudible cues, I guess. We don't really have we've like talked about needing to develop some kind of like sign language or like we have certain things that are obvious, like, you know, stop, take to the top, or like things that are just like
Tap your head.
Yeah. But other than that, a lot of it is just kind of picking up on the cues the other person throws out. Where like if I want to if you want to take the energy up or down, somebody will either play a little softer, or drums will start to slow down, or just things like that. And as long as everybody's listening, things go pretty well.
Yeah,
And
cool.
I think that is one of the strong points of our band, is that everybody is very much constantly listening, and it's not like a competition or a showman. We're playing as a unit.
Yeah.
Like,
Cool.
yeah.
Yeah, that's what I picked up on, because I was like, whoa, what happened? What happened? And then everybody went with it. So I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
That's where they were going. I'm ready. I'm there now.
Yeah, some of those, and I think some of that's fun where, like, I think that's kind of we take that cue from Dopapod, where just, like, those sudden planned breakdowns where everybody just kind of hits a unison. Bam, 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 bam. You're just like, whoa. I don't know, people go wild for that. It's fun. So, like,
Cool.
you got to have those planned moments, but then they're interspersed within the other improvisational stuff. And I think it's a good thing for people to come back around to and know and have, like, a foundation that you can use that to build upon.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. It's very cool. Glad you guys are doing it. And that's out there, because I wanted. I've been listening to that kind of music a lot, like, and then to see you guys, like, doing it here at this local level, like, I haven't seen anyone do it like this since Vibe and Direct. You know those guys?
Yes,
and,
we do. We actually had Mike Miller sitting with us at brewing company up on the water. I'm failing on the name right now.
Collision Bend.
The other one.
Thirsty Dog.
Oh man, the one right under the lighthouse. Shoot, I can't.
I don't know. Which
I'm not sure either.
Oh,
Which
man.
lighthouse?
They're about to put in a venue upstairs, if that helps. Anyway, we had him sitting with us for a show, and it was a lot of fun.
Good, man. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, he is on another level.
Yeah, he really is.
All right, cool. Shout out to Michael Miller. And let's talk about your...
all the Vibe and Direct boys.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Chris Walker's with them now. Good guy. Let's talk about your solo stuff.
Cool. Yeah.
Cool. What's the name again?
Soulternal.
Cool. And what kind of music is that?
It's a good question. I haven't even totally figured it out, to be honest.
Do you
it's
use
a little everything.
loops, synths, drum machines?
A little bit of
computer?
everything. So I have an idea of where I would like to take it, and it's similar to kind of what FKJ does with his live, and it's where you just build a loop, play it live, and then build off of that. And I'd like to kind of eventually get other people involved in that too, but that's kind of you need time, it's just going to develop, but I've got ideas. But it's very much what I've done so far is kind of use Ableton as my backing band, and then when the live setting I'll play live guitar over top of it, and I have one or two songs with vocals so I can sing there, but a lot of times I'll have like kind of sections built into it to where it'll jam and like just kind of repeat a little loop, and like I can either cut some stuff out or just hold that and keep playing on it. If I really like that like section, I can just like keep jamming on it, and then it doesn't go into the next section of the song until I actually trigger it.
Okay.
So it gives me a little bit of control versus just kind of like press and play and let it all go, but at the same time, like, it's a little too much to worry about all of it and try to play at the same time. So you kind of have to choose one.
What are you using for triggering?
I have a Push, the Ableton Push,
Okay.
and just the first one. It works fine for me.
I used Ableton with we had an MTV tribute band.
Oh, Moon Man.
Moon Man.
Yeah, nice.
So we had the music videos playing so I was playing to a click, which I hated because there was no expression at all. It was like literally I was just like hearing Madonna. I didn't hear the band. But we used Ableton to sync the lights in the video and then to change everybody's keyboard patches, things like that.
Yeah.
You can go way deep in that. But
Yes, for sure. I went to a kind of a 3-day intensive class seminar with Anthony from Papadozio called Seed to Stage.
Oh, yeah. My buddy
Definitely.
Keith was talking about
Yes,
that.
Keith
and
went
Doug.
the year after I did. And definitely, that's something I've bonded with Doug over a little bit
When
too.
you were
It's
just
very
talking
cool.
about how you were solo thing was going, I was thinking of Earth Cry. Like
Yes.
how he does that.
Earth Cry and Bypass Circuit. Shout out to Keith. Definitely kind of similar.
I was roommates with him when he was getting that going. It was so cool, like just listening to him practice that every day. Like,
Nice.
yeah, man. It was. He's great. Keith Fiorino. Yeah.
Yeah,
Shout out.
for sure. Yeah, we played a show with him. First show of the year for 2021. We sold out the Winchester.
Cool.
That was a lot of fun.
We love the Winchester.
Yeah.
For sure, we do too. Jan's actually working there now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
he likes it. So
Yeah.
it's good stuff.
Cool.
Go get some. Their chicken sandwich is super dank. Yeah.
I had their salmon, but man, it was so good. Like they
Yeah,
changed up their
kitchen
menu,
is,
man.
is seriously on point, I gotta say,
Yeah.
especially for
There's-
like a small bar venue.
Yeah.
Like, you
Yeah.
wouldn't really expect.
Tastes like a nice restaurant. It was only $15 and
Yeah.
like 2 side dishes, and it was so
Right, like they're using
Seasoned
local
perfect.
ingredients when possible and stuff like that. Like, yeah, I really appreciate that.
Oh,
That's good
yeah.
stuff.
cool. Yeah, the Winchester. Let's do a live show there one day. Like,
Absolutely,
well, a
that's-
broadcast.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm
yeah.
sure to pull some strings, we can set that up.
Yeah.
You guys have any upcoming shows?
Not at the moment. We have. I just got some dates. We play at the Jenks building. So our one release is live at the Jenks, and that's a building in Colga Falls, and it's an old machine shop that they've kind of turned into a pseudo retail and kind of performance space in the back and there's also an upstairs that is like a big open usable art space and performance space that it's really cool. It's a really good energy. If you've ever been to like the Ingenuity Cleveland warehouse, it's kind of a similar vibe, or just like nothing in there is mass produced. Everything you're looking at is kind of one of a kind, or just like really just well made products.
Yeah.
It's just cool. We actually got in there because we sell the business I work for specializes in olive oil and vinegar, and we get it in these big cubes, and then we break it down into bottles and then sell that at the retail level. But they sell our stuff at their store, so my mom and I went in there to stop in and see if they needed more product after work one day, and got to talking with the guy, and he's like, "You play guitar? Well, yeah, we want to come in Saturday. We got an opening." I'm like, "Well, I play in this band. Can we show up?" And like, I think that would be a better fit than just me noodling on guitar, because I'm not practiced for that. And it's Wednesday. He's like, "All right, well, I'll see." So we showed up. They don't have any sound equipment, so we brought the whole PA mixer and brought, we just brought basically my whole studio, and the nice part is it's like 5 minutes down the road from my house.
Nice.
So that's easy.
You say Cuyahoga Falls?
Pull in setup. It's right across the street from the Sheraton, if you know where that is.
Yeah.
Right on
Front
the
Street.
river. Yeah.
Cool. Right on the river. Jenks, you said?
Yes, the Jenks
Cool.
building.
Nice.
So then we played there pretty much from that point. That was March. It was like once a month that we played there until about August or September, and then it was like every 2 months from then on. And they've been fantastic, and just like our development. The room there sounds amazing. So like people would pay to record in a room like that and get the sound of the drums and just like the natural reverb, because it's not like nothing's flat. There's stuff on all the walls. It's just that natural weird diffusion that like you couldn't purposefully recreate. It's just like it has to be a room like that, It's
You had
just,
some room mics out there when you did your live recording then, huh?
So yeah, I mean really just the drum overheads pick up most of what you need to hear there, and then like still in that sense we all go DI. I have an amp and Jan has an amp, but the amps are not mic'd, you know what I'm saying?
So it's all
a
from the
DI going
overheads?
in, yeah.
Cool, man.
So
Nice.
yeah, it's really, but you get like a nice room sound, and like you can, it comes out well.
Cool. A lot of places in that area that sell that olive oil and vinegar you guys are doing?
Yeah, we've gotten in a couple more stores. The Farmer's Rail is another one in Hudson and Colga Falls. That they're more of a butcher shop, but they've kind of started more into. I don't know if you've heard of Brunty Farms, which is in the valley. They grow their own meats there, and butcher it and sell them in the butcher shop. And like it's been cool to see them grow from just being like a small, used to be like side of the road, nobody working, you go in, pay, honor system, grab what you needed, and like now they have 3 different locations. They're serving hot meals, like basically full restaurant service, and like it's a pretty cool like.
Heck yeah! What's your brand?
Our brand is All of My Heart. That is Farmer's Rail.
Okay.
We actually just took over All of My Heart about 1.5 years ago. It was August of last year, and that's the specialty is olive oil and vinegar, and we have a bunch of different flavor infused olive oils that are like garlic, dill, basil, blood orange, lemon, a couple spicy peppers, and then like all different white and dark balsamic vinegars.
All right.
And then we usually carry about 10 different single source extra virgin olive oils. So they're like, it's not flavored. It's just coming from one olive from one specific part of the world. And every 6 months we switch north or southern hemisphere based on what's the most recent crush.
Wow.
So it's really like one of those things that if you've not kind of looked into it, you would never really know.
No,
but most people just go to the grocery store and just get
knowledge on olive oil, right?
Yeah, it's really and like especially with the extra virgins, like even we have the same strain of olive that comes from different parts of the world that experiences different conditions while it's growing, so it tastes totally different. It's really kind of like amazing how varied these flavors can end up.
Cool. So what countries are you talking about?
So some of the ones we've had are Tunisia. Right now we're getting a lot of the Southern Hemisphere countries. Actually, no. Now we'll be getting Northern Hemisphere. We're selling out of the Southern Hemisphere ones. But Australia is another common one. We're getting a California one. A lot of just the Mediterranean and Middle Eastern area.
Nice.
So Italy, Greece.
Yeah, once you have like good olive oil, you're like, oh, I've been having garbage.
Yeah,
this whole time.
It's really it's one of those things that like you try it and you can't go back.
Yeah, it's
like,
horrible.
The product really sells itself. It's really kind of amazing. And like we've done some things since we took over to kind of add to the business, and it's really started to show at this point.
You come back to the podcast, I'm sure you'll see some in the kitchen because I'm like hell yeah.
I should have brought some with me. Yeah, gift.
Yeah, you could like right there.
Yeah, for sure.
You do a rig rundown video of their company. Yeah,
that'd be fun. Yeah.
Cool, awesome, Nick.
Well, rig rundown. You want to go into gear?
Yeah, I want to.
All right, let's go into gear.
Sure.
All right.
So I took a picture of my pedal board right before I left.
All right.
So I can use that as a reference point.
All right.
I actually have another picture right here of the rest of my gear for my solo project.
What's your go-to axe?
My go-to axe is a PRS. I don't even know which one. So I'm gonna be honest. I just recently went out and I don't want to say splurged, but sold off some stock and just turned around and put it on a guitar, and it was a really nice custom private stock 10 top.
Semi-hollow.
Nice. Not. I don't think so. Damn. No, it's not. Here's what it looks like.
You would know that, right? Cool, beautiful,
that's gorgeous.
Yeah. So, but then I also have one that I got for.
What's that color called?
That is it's a flame maple top, and I think it's like a tiger's eye. They do it. So the way they get that is they actually stain it, and then they sand some off.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they stain lightly with a different color.
Oh yeah, they always have cool names. Like I had a blue one of these that was whale blue.
Right.
It's a tiger's eye. I love that for this flame one.
But then I also have one that is this Pure is a single cut SE. So it was originally $900. I got it for $450.
Oh.
And honestly, it plays just as good as my one that was 5 times as expensive. And realistically, that's the one I play out the most. I can't find a picture.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about those guitars.
Yeah, realistically, it's one of those things where it's the stress of every moment of keeping my eyes over on the case, making sure nobody's walking out. It's just Well, if I don't have to worry about it, I'll keep that one in the studio for recording, and like I don't feel like I'm losing that much when I use the other one. It's
Right,
just
yeah.
kind of,
You've used that one as a player.
Exactly.
You won't lose any integrity.
Exactly.
I've thought about for some of those guitars doing those air tags from Apple where you can track things and put it in the control cavity. I don't know if it would interfere with the electronics or not.
I don't know. You could probably hide it in the case somewhere, I guess.
Yeah.
Depending on.
Right. But yeah, you get worried when you bring out the nice gear.
For sure. Yeah. And, I mean, we play decent places, but you never know.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate fact of reality. Lots of bands have gear stolen.
Yeah. So going from the guitar, going wireless or wired to your pedal board?
Going wired into the pedal board. Just running straight through the routing here.
Let's go right through the signal.
Yeah.
chain.
So we come in through the tuner, obviously.
Which tuner are you using there?
The mono price, no name one.
No.
For some reason, this picture is upside down. It's really confusing. All right. So yeah, it's just a no name kind of mono
Does
price.
it work in the
$30?
bright light?
It works fantastic.
All
It's an SR. Stage Right is the actual brand. I think it's like the mono price though. And then that comes into a envelope filter, which is the Spatial delivery by Earthquaker Devices. Beautiful. Into a compressor DoD 280, into a DoD 410 boost, into the bone shaker. I actually got all these DoD pedals in like a little bundle as all my starting pedals, basically. Yeah. I was just like, I saw it last year, I think Black Friday, and it was like $250 for like 6 pedals. And like I kept the ones I liked and sold the ones I didn't. And
what's DoD look like?
They're just Digitech, yeah. These guys.
Cool.
And then Bone Shaker is a distortion pedal. It's pretty cool actually. Like it's kind of.
See a couple Earthquakers. I think.
No, this guy is so yeah, that's the envelope pedal.
Cool.
That is the first one I called out there. So then that goes into going from distortion into the Obscura Altered Delay, which is a Digitech, that thing is pretty cool. That's the one I use for all the crazy like time sweep delay effects. So you can, all
the Echoplex fun.
Yes. And then from that point, I usually run into my amp and then come back out the effects send into, right now I'm running a Dark Side phaser and fuzz pedal. It's like a dual pedal kind of based around David Gilmour's.
Yeah, that seems like a cool pedal. I've watched so many videos of that.
It's really cool. It's kind of one of those things where like I needed both of those effects and just like, it fits the sound and like it's I thought initially it was going to be one of those things where I just like, okay, this is just going to be like the butter pedal. It's just on all the time. But like it does kind of get a little much or muddy in the mix depending on, so you gotta depending on what sound you want, you gotta turn it off sometimes, but it does stay on quite a bit. The fuzz doesn't stay on all the time, but the phaser univibe side or the flange rotary side, one of those stays on all the time. And then that goes into my Cirrus. It's called the Spatial Temporal Modifier. I bought this from a company in Germany called KMA Machines, and I am absolutely in love with this pedal. It is a dual reverb delay. You can choose the effect or the order in which it hits the effects, and you could also patch something in between if you want. It has a tap tempo, and it's just really. It just gets some very kind of unique sounds that like you don't just it's not like it has a normal kind of reverb, but then it has also like a modulation, a sample and hold, and an octave effect that can give you like real cool shimmery tones or just like it adds kind of like a pad effect to it. I'll show it to the camera here.
That's a lot
company
in
out.
one.
It's really cool.
Heard of them. That's a lot of stuff.
They make a couple other pedals too. Yeah, I mean just it's got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4 knobs and 2 switches just for the one side, and then same thing for the other side. And then you can choose, you can put an expression pedal in and choose pretty much every parameter which you want to affect.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. It's really just I don't know, one of those things where I kind of probably went overboard as far as like my first pedal, but I was using digital effects for 10 years and just kind of guitar rig and other stuff inside of Ableton in the box effects, and just kind of like, if I'm gonna go, I want to have things that aren't available to me in Ableton, and just like a lot of stuff is like really just like time based and things where you have physical controls that you can affect on the fly there. So yeah, that thing has been a lot of fun, and I really love the sound of it.
I think the digital stuff is good for like getting an idea of what you really want. You know, I'm using this, I'm using this, I'm using this. Now I'm gonna go get the real thing.
Yes.
It's.
I kind of agree. I recently bought one of the Helix like floorboards.
Yeah.
And I'm not totally sure whether it's gonna replace my main pedal board, but it's definitely a cool thing to have as like an alternative.
I see right over there.
Yeah. Over there. It's really cool. They're fun. Like I definitely very quickly maxed out the processing power and just like, oh well, once I did that, it would freeze when I tried to switch patches, and that's a problem.
Oh yeah,
That's a big problem. So yeah, you can't bring that on stage, and so I don't know. We'll see how that goes. It's still up in the air. I'm probably gonna keep it in the studio just to have lots of other amps available, because even for that price, you have 50 amps that you can play through, and it's like, okay, like
it's got its place for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I bought that thing for doing a bass gig because it's got bass in there, and then the head rush thing was $350 and it's 2,000 watts. I'm like, all right, I'm
good.
Loud. Good to go
for sure. So next I got a Empress Zoya pedal, which honestly I probably kind of underutilized as far as what this thing is capable of. It's the one that's a grid. It is basically a modular pedal and synthesizer and sequencer all in a little box, stomp box style.
I've never
How many
seen
presets
one of those.
is in there?
So you can get up to like 121, I think, at a time. And then it's pretty easy to, there's a third-party program that makes it pretty easy to swap patches and whatnot. But as far as like building patches, there are a lot of different modules, and it's kind of similar to the Helix, but it's a lot less, I don't know, say user-friendly, but like you got to know intentionally what you're doing when you go to build an effect, I think, with this a little more so than with the Helix, where you can just try and audition new sounds, where this you actually have to link, like, all right, my sound is coming in here, I got to link my sound with the envelope that I want to affect this thing here, and like it's kind of like where you would patch points on a modular synthesizer. Yeah. If you have any experience with that, like you have basically, if I want this thing to affect this thing, you can just plug a cable between them, and it's basically like that. But then the interface for that thing isn't the greatest because it's a pedal and the screen is 2 inches by 1 inch.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
I thought it was just like just numbers.
That's a screen. Yeah. It's a full readout. Like,
oh man.
Oh geez.
Yes.
Wow.
The font is like size 10. So it's not something you're reading. Is it meant to be
on a board?
Well, they actually just made a new version that's kind of meant more for either desktop or Eurorack.
Okay.
I would see people using this a lot more with like in a small synth setup on like maybe lo-fi kind of things, where you got like some of the like, oh man, just little groove boxes and things like that. So you can have a bunch of different effects modules in that little box. It's not something I would want to like run through on stage. I just really use it for 1 or 2 effects. Yeah. But they're really cool, like shimmery reverbs that I'm probably not going to get in another pedal necessarily, because like it's one of those things where it's like it's not going to be your replacement pedal board type thing. It's going to be one of those people who are looking for a boutique kind of thing, where like, or they literally want to build the exact effect that they want and like not have to look outside of that box. So it's pretty cool. Like I honestly haven't even done it justice. I think I got to sit down and go do some more deep dives, because like I've only really programmed it like 2 or 3 times, and I've just played with the ones in some of the effects that are in there
Yeah.
at this point.
It seems like something, if you're going to take advantage of it, it's going to be a very deep dive for a while.
Yeah.
You're going to come out a changed man.
Yeah.
Can you hear it being used in your live recordings?
You probably can a little bit, but I couldn't tell you a specific point to where it would be. Yeah. So then after that, we go into
More.
Got a lot of pedals.
yeah,
All right.
No wonder you're
Specular
more out than
Reverbs V3, which is a delay a reverb pedal, which does have some delay functions, so you can get like a echo kind of delay to it. And then I'll go to a splitter pedal sometimes, and then I'll A/B 2 different amps, and so I can have one that is a valve tube amp and have a little distortion and crunch with that and use that for more lead sounds. And then I have a Roland jazz chorus that's just more for the
cool, man.
spacey kind of backing
Yeah.
stuff. When you
don't
get
see
them
that a
stacked
lot.
on top, it's kind of nice. It's like,
So what's the tube amp that you're going to for the for the
Black
crunchy
Star HT20.
one? Okay.
Yeah, I really, honestly, have got that used off somebody in Cuyahoga Falls parking lot in Acme, right up front of Acme, and honestly, it's been fantastic.
Yeah,
It's got everything I need. DI out, that's what I use straight out of the amp, where it emulates a 4x12 cab. So you can't really beat that, and it sounds fantastic.
Yeah, for the money, like those are,
Yeah.
they're tough to beat. Man.
Yeah,
They sound
it's
incredible.
been super reliable and just it's a tank. So I can't shout out Black Star. They're great.
I know. I'm waiting for them to start going up in value as soon as people catch on to
Realistically, yeah, because it's like I bought that for the same price as I was looking at the Fender Hot Rod Blues Junior, which is pretty much same size, similar features, but literally less features for the same price.
Yeah.
So Black Star, it's like the Fender doesn't have DI outs, it doesn't have a USB interface that I don't really use, but if you didn't have any other thing, you could literally plug the amp right into your computer and record with a USB cord and no other. You don't need an audio cable, you don't need another interface separately. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, good stuff for them.
You know, I've been using is I got the Fender Mustang Micro. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
Did I show you that thing? It's a little DI box. Actually, shout out to Dennis Davis. He got it for me as a graduation present.
Oh yeah. Now I'm remembering.
But it's it's I mean, half the size of a TV remote, plugs straight into the guitar, has a bunch of Fender models in it, and USBs out right to your computer.
Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic for $100.
That's awesome.
So he's been using it. You go on vacation and you want to play and you want to record something, you bring your guitar in that little thing and you're good to go.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's really just the portability of recording. To me, the fact that we can record our shows pretty much by ourselves.
Yeah.
And no, you know what I mean? That it just bring all I can fit all that equipment in my car.
yeah.
You know what I mean? 20, 30 years ago, that wasn't possible. It straight wasn't a thing. And that's something that I think nowadays that really kind of take for granted, I guess.
Yeah.
Just especially, I think back, even just cell phones and the quality of recordings that you can get from that. 5-10 years ago wasn't even a thing. Just I remember specifically wanting to upgrade my phone because at live shows, every time I would try to take any kind of video, the sound would just be completely blown out. It's I want to watch it, but I can't hear it.
Yeah.
It's useless. So
Yeah.
and nowadays, you got somebody front row, and it's just you're there. It sounds clear.
It sounds like
it
it's off
doesn't
the board.
distort. Yeah, it's just wow. We have our drummer just kind of sets his phone up to record, and he's got one of the newer Galaxies, and it's fantastic. Takes 4K video, and it's just this. You can fit that in your pocket. What are you doing?
It's
That's what I got.
Yeah,
It's
nice.
awesome.
Yeah.
a great time for tech. One of my favorite things, but it's kind of mean, is seeing when some older guys haven't been playing in forever, and they're going to sell their PA gear now. And it's these things that weigh 4,000 pounds. They're giant. And they're you don't understand. This is 200 watts.
Yeah.
This is worth a fortune. Nobody's gonna buy that shit.
Maybe a museum.
You want to hear a funny story pertaining to that? we played a show at the Jenks, and this band called King Cat, and they're based out of I think Rootstown. Yeah, I think that's right. They're a bunch of cool guys, Hartville area. They're cool guys though. We love them. We played another show with them at the Grog Shop, but their dad was in a band in the late 70s, 80s. You know, and he brought his sound equipment out for their set. And literally had a trailer, like, pulling behind his truck. The whole bed of the trailer was full. The whole bed of the truck was full. They had 2 stacks that were, like, you know, probably not even almost taller than that. Were just, like, subs like this. And he had a table with, you know, the full mixing board and then all of his different effects. And I showed up, and I had my... 4-unit rack case that had my mixer in it. Then I had my laptop sitting on top, and I'm like, I mean, we had our speakers, but like we have 2 PAs that are about this big, and our sound was pretty. Their bass obviously blew us out of the water because we didn't have 18-inch subs.
Yeah.
But outside of that, I think the sound was pretty comparable, and we were able to record it. So like, I don't know. Like it's kind of one of those things where it's like, wow, I feel sorry for anybody that had to haul all of that stuff around for every single show,
which was like the norm, but back when he was doing it.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. And like the weird part is, I probably have more effects available to me in my tiny little laptop and digital-based mixer format than he does. And that whole thing is just like, I mean, I get it, but like if you got it, use it, but. You know, there's definitely, we've come a long way.
Yeah. Everybody's backs are very happy now.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that.
It's going to be like 10 years from now. They're going to be just like in the palm of our hands. Like
yeah. I mean, probably just like a mic like this, you just set it down and it just
gets everything.
Gives you a 360 perfect stereo recording of the room. Like
everybody's got their own earbuds in the crowd. They hear it all perfect mix.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. I mean,
they would just be little stickers you put on your earlobe.
Yeah. Just VR concerts. You don't even meet in person anymore because nobody wants to get COVID. But yeah, that would be funny. I've been watching things with that are like binaural recordings people do with those headsets with 2 microphones where your ears would be.
Yeah.
And that's a really trippy thing. I would somehow like to figure out how to use that a little more in a recording sense because it's like if you can convince people to listen with headphones, you can transport them places.
Yeah.
Like, it's pretty cool.
We're recording this with Logic Pro, and it's got some of the. I've been tweaking some of those features a little bit, and it's really cool. If you have like spatial audio, you know, you're turning your head and it's following where you're going, and you know the music changes as you're moving. It's really cool.
Nice, yeah,
it's really cool.
I've like been reading about that spatial audio. I've not experienced it, but that seems like very interesting. I guess I've experienced it in VR.
Yeah.
Because that is basically that's what they're using for that.
Yeah.
But yeah. It's pretty cool.
The first time it caught me off guard, and I thought my headphones fucked up. You know? I spent all this money, these damn things. And I turned the other way, and it switched, and I was like, wait, that is on purpose. This is cool. And I'm just like looking around the house.
Oh, man, I need to hear that. That sounds awesome.
It's cool.
Yeah, especially for like listening to live music or like concerts. I bet that would be really cool.
Let's take a second and give a shout out to Chuck Kaminsky,
right.
Basement Trader. He's our sponsor who hooked us up with these great Audio Technica microphones.
Yeah.
Very nice.
He's got a shop out of Painesville, Ohio.
Yep.
Does really quick turnaround on setups. He sells used gear. He's got a great reverb store. That's Chuck Kaminsky from Basement Trader. BASS. Ments Trader. One word.
Thanks, Chuck.
Thank you, Chuck, again. Thanks, Chuck. Cool, man.
Where are we going to pivot to?
You got any other interests outside of olive oil and music you'd like to talk about?
The Christmas sweater collection?
I did used to have, so I went to a private high school, Hoban, Archbishop Hoban in downtown Akron. And while I was there, they switched from like actually, I never even had to wear the uniforms. They just started doing polo shirts like my freshman year. So the only way we could like stylize was sweaters. And I like went kind of crazy going to the thrift stores and like seeing how far I could push some of these sweaters. And like, yeah, it got to the point where I could wear a different sweater for like every day for an entire month and just never switch it up. You know, like, just I don't know, it's fun. I like it.
Cool. You've always been in the Akron area?
Yeah, I grew up in Silver Lake and live in Cuyahoga Falls now. I went to OU for college. That's the only real time I've left the area for.
Cool.
More
What'd you
than,
study?
Yeah, business.
Yeah.
Awesome. Cool.
It's been I put that to you. So I started a vape shop when I was 25, and if you know anything about vaping and the government, that is not really the industry you want to be in at this point. And I was kind of fortunate and forward thinking that I closed it in December of 2019, right before COVID hit, and was able to kind of walk away with some money in my pocket.
Cool. Where were you at?
And that was in Cuyahoga Falls, right on Bailey Road. It was called Vape to You, and I miss it greatly. I had great relationships with a lot of people. That I mean, some of them I still see to this day, and like, yeah, actually, I've had one or two come into the olive oil store now, and like the one guy was like, "Hey, wait a minute, I know you from somewhere." Like, yeah, he used to come into my other store. Like, I'm selling different flavored oils. Like,
were you guys like retail, or did you have like a little lounge there too?
So yeah, it was a retail store, and then we did have. It was like a little lounge space. We had two or three seats right at the. It was an old cash into gold store, and it still had like the thing. I don't know, the whole countertop thing, display, whatnot, left in there. So we just rolled with it, and then I put some displays on top of the countertop, so everything was. You couldn't just like grab stuff. It was inside the glass display, but it was at eye level, which was nice. You didn't have to like lean down to your knee height just to look at stuff. But yeah, that worked for us, and we were there for 5 years. And
nice.
Yeah,
Well,
I miss
congrats.
it, and it was a good time. But I think looking at where I'm at today with the olive oil and the vinegar store, like, so we were fortunate. My parents and I took over that business in August of last year. We started talks probably in January, but because of COVID, we decided, slow down, wait, put a hold on things, just see how this goes for a little bit. We don't really want to buy a new business right in the middle of a pandemic.
Yeah.
But they kind of kept not running business as usual, but like business kept up. They weren't like seriously declined, and like in a way, because people were at home cooking more often, people were using more olive oil than usual. So like some of the sales were up. But yeah, it's been an awesome experience. It's kind of the Christmas time is the crazy time because everybody's buying gifts. We're seeing like 30 to 50 people a day, which we're basically a small 1,200 foot retail store, which is like typically used to seeing 12 to 15 a day. So you get double that, and things are going wild. Like,
Where in Cuyahoga Falls is the shop?
So the oil store is actually right on the border of Hudson and Stowe on Route 91.
All right.
It's 5108 Darrow Road.
In a plaza?
It is in an old white farmhouse. It was like built in 1869.
Wow.
It's really cool. It's actually a historic Hudson building. So we can't do any crazy renovations without them like approving it. But it fits very much the business and just kind of the vibe, and like. If you see it, you kind of like, oh, wow. And it's been a couple other things through the years. It was a doctor's office, and it was like an office space or something like that, and even an apartment building upstairs. But, like,
I like Hudson.
Yeah, we enjoy being there. The city's just very nice. They've been super supportive with the business. We're part of, like, the Chamber of Commerce. And they have their own fiber internet, so... That's something that I want more cities to get on board. I think right now it's only available to businesses, but that's legit. Yeah. Any city that has that has their stuff together.
All right. Let's talk about the jam scene some more, especially in Northeast Ohio. Do you have any good friends and like other acts you'd like to get noticed, or anybody who's impressed you lately that you'd like to give a shout out to?
For sure. My friends in Things, they're I would say up and coming, but definitely we played a couple like smaller shows and festival type gigs with them.
Cool. Grav talked about them too.
Yeah,
mentioned them.
They definitely just like really impressed me. Like you can tell they work hard, and like it's a very interesting kind of Red Hot Chili Peppers jam funk mixture, a little, just like little pigeons playing ping pong mixed in there. Like it's fun. It's very, but it's very polished. Like they do a good job with that. Like, who else? Well, I would say Grav, but unfortunately they're taking a hiatus after this next show. Rubik's Groove, definitely got to shout out those guys. Our friends at King Cat, they're awesome. They're playing like a little more old school rock and roll, but like we're doing, putting the new twist on stuff. That's kind of all I got at the moment. But if I think of anything else, I'll bring it back up.
Cool.
That's a good list.
Cool. I know you played with Apostle Jones recently in like Mogador or something. Who
that
was there?
With Things as
with
well.
Things, right?
Yeah, that was like kind of a little private party bonfire thing.
I heard that was a
that
good
our
time.
buddy, our friend Nick put that together, and he's been a huge supporter of the band, so we appreciate that. And that was a great time. That was my first time seeing Apostle Jones. They are fantastic, I have to say. We're friends with Charlie. Got to shout out Uncle Gnarly, definitely. But he wasn't actually there that night, so you didn't get to see him play with Apostle Jones. But he's sat in with us with Camel Butter a couple times. So
Cool.
Yeah, he's a good friend.
Cool. Yeah, he was the fourth episode of this was him. Yeah.
Nice.
Real cool guy. I've known him since about 13. Early Wanyama days. He's cool cat. We love Charlie in this scene.
Yeah, he's definitely just a good guy.
Well, I just ran into him last night at the Agora. We were at Krongbin.
Nice,
It
yeah.
was, such
Jan
a
was
sick
there.
show, man. Huh?
Yeah, our bassist Jan was there. For
Dude,
sure.
I gotta say, man, those guys. Those guys, man, like the game that's a changer. I was just like, oh, all right, this is how it's gonna be.
Yeah.
so cool.
They're a band
So
that
cool.
I think is, I don't want to like put ourselves in that same category, but just like their music is timeless in a sense that like it pulls from kind of the older 70s
you guys
funk.
are doing that too.
But yeah, it's very much like I think like Grateful Dead fit into that, and just like where you can place it, but it doesn't have to fit in that era. It's just like it's kind of just it's a vibe.
Yeah, man, so good, and like they didn't miss a beat. You know what I mean?
Super.
Whoa!
Oh, yeah.
Hello there. Cool, man. Cool. You got anything you want to tell people about the upcoming plans for Camel Butter, for your solo stuff, for your business?
We're working towards recording probably an EP release or something a little more intentfully tracked, I guess. Solo, I don't have anything on the horizon at this point, but definitely a lot of stuff in the works. It's one of those things where it's just it comes as it comes. I think that's kind of part of it being a solo project is I don't have anybody externally motivating me to get stuff done, and that's kind of I just end up jamming on it and not really like finishing projects. So that's kind of it is what it is. It's for my own personal enjoyment more than anything else, but it's fun.
Awesome, cool. You guys going to try to get in any festivals, applying, getting that process started for the summer?
Yes. We did just get word. Our friend Liz Bloom is trying to, I think, put together another festival this year. We did last year. We played Local Love Fest that she put together. It was a lot of fun.
Local Love Fest, not to be confused with Love Fest.
Correct.
That we've mentioned on this
yes,
program.
there was probably a little confusion with that last year. I think I also was initially confused. But it's a good time. It was out in Painesville. So we'll probably be doing that one again. nothing else set in stone yet. We probably will keep that posted as it comes along.
Cool.
Definitely are open.
Who are some of your favorite acts in this jam scene? Like not Cleveland, nationally.
Just overall?
Yeah. Just to see their shows. Because mine is definitely Dopapod.
Dopapod, absolutely. Papadozio is probably, for me personally, number one. They're by far the band I've seen the most, probably over 60 times at this point. And then next would be like Lotus, and then Pigeons Playing Ping Pong. I got to shout out Magic Beans just for being awesome dudes, as well as playing some awesome music.
Oh man, I remember when I first saw them, New Year's 18, I think, with Pigeons in Pittsburgh. So
yes,
cool. Magic Beans.
I was there for that show.
You were there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Magic Beans don't sleep.
Yeah.
Magic Beans.
That was, I think Casey sat in with Pigeons that night.
Yeah.
That was fantastic.
That.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're awesome dudes. I think they actually came back to our Airbnb that night, dug out, because we were like right down, like a block away from Mr. Small's, so it was like walking. We got to walk to and from the show. That was fun. But yeah, them. Unfortunately, another local band, Acid Cats, but they've unfortunately broke up. But they were definitely a huge inspiration. Just like good people, they're all kind of going their own way and doing like separate projects at this point.
Yeah.
So shout out to those guys. I know Tommy Lehman,
shout out to
Quartet, Mike Vincent for sure. Yeah.
I met him when he was 15 years old. Man.
Yeah.
He was so like into it, like and dedicated. Like one of the best guitarists I've ever seen. He is like 15, maybe 16 years old. He's playing that Hometown Bank Plaza in Kent, like right downtown. And he did Black Magic Woman, like just flawlessly with these guys. And I'm like, whoa. Sister at the time. That's how I first met him.
Okay.
And I was in Kent at the music school, and like he was asking me like, can you like really do that for like a living? I'm like, all right, well I guess we'll see. Just don't give up.
Right. I mean, you've done a step ahead of most people. So.
Oh yeah, cool. I hope you're doing okay wherever you are, Michael Vincent.
For sure. Yeah, actually I haven't seen him in a minute. Who else? Big name bands. So Krang Vin's a big one as far as just kind of inspiration for us, definitely with style and just kind of overall vibe.
You like Talk?
I do really like Talk. A little more like into the proggy stuff too, like Polyphia, like some of that. Just not too math rocky, but it's fun. Chan is another one.
Chan, man. Consider the Source.
Consider the Source is another one. They're fun. I think they're a little. They're one
crazy.
You gotta just see them live. It's not something I guess I listened to outside of that, but like anytime they're in town, it's definitely a must go.
Yeah.
And then I get into a lot of electronic music as well, and just like heavier, lighter, I guess. I don't know. It's all over the place. I do very much. I don't want to say constantly try to listen to new stuff, but like I am at least once a day trying to like hear something new, and it's not always just like
it's a great goal.
The same, just comfort. I feel like at a certain point it just gets like you end up listening to the same thing over and over. It just kind of gets to be a comfort blanket, and it's not a bad thing, but like we all have songs that we go back to, like. Radiohead would be a huge inspiration for me. That's probably at this point kind of become that comfort blanket where just like I've heard In Rainbow so many times, or you guys know every single note to that album, like start to finish. So it's just like you just put it on and just like I don't know. After a point of listening to things, you start to associate memories that happen while you're listening to those things with the music, and then if you can listen to something fresh. You don't have those associations, so it can kind of just gives you new ideas there. I don't know. I have my Spotify always gives you the once Discover Weekly, so I always try to go through that, and that's something that the more you you interact with it, the better it gets. So like for me, over 60% of the time, like I end up liking the song. It's very rare that I actually like, oh, I don't ever want to hear that again. Like, so it's, yeah, that's cool. I very much have tried to. There's a lot of really dope like jazz-inspired lo-fi hip-hop. That's just kind of like, when I had the vape shop, I was really super into that because I would just have it as a soundtrack on in the background all the time. Yeah. But like,
who are some artists?
So like, they're all like weed-related names, like Hash Finger, Blunt One, like Flow Rida, or no, that's not. Flow Fliz is a different Flow Rida. It's like an old rapper from the
Not Flow Rida.
Yeah, I think it's Flow Fliz. What's the Le Indecise is another one that I really like. That dude. He's got a couple. It's kind of, I guess, with French rappers, or they're actually rapping in French and whatnot. But like, I don't know French, but it sounds really cool to me. But then a lot of it is just instrumental beats too. So like, just kind of, that can be worldwide.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's taking those. A lot of times it's like the jazz samples that I like from the jazz that I enjoy listening to, and then applying a new like take to it, where you kind of flip it and chop and screw it a little bit and whatnot. You just get interesting kind of, yeah, I like that. And like, one of my favorite, I have a whole playlist that is like the original song and then the sampled version. And then like, because it's like, sometimes you hear that earworm and it's just like, wait a minute, I know that sample. And then you find the original and it's like, oh, that's cool. Like it's like a treasure hunt.
Have you ever checked out Who Sampled?
Yeah, I try not to cheat. And, yeah, but like sometimes I have to go reference that.
Well,
like,
then you find these songs that you're like, this is fantastic. They used it for this 3-second drum loop. But
right.
The whole song is just killer.
For sure. There's a lot of things like that where it's just like they take something that's just like an interlude in the original song, and then they just like, boom, that becomes the theme of this whole song, and it's just like totally different experience, but it totally like makes the vibe of the song. One example for that for me is this artist called Vanilla, who's another kind of lo-fi hip hop artist, and he did a song. It's this woman singer from the 70s, and I actually went and found it, but like the way it's called, his song is called Footsteps, and like the way he edited the vocals, and then if you hear the original song, it totally like changes the meaning of the song, and it just like he kind of pitched down the vocals too, so it's ambiguous on whether it's a guy or a girl singing too. It's just like, it's really interesting, and it's like he turned it from like a love song into like a kind of like a sad, like, I miss you song. And it's just like really kind of, it's a really interesting like flip on the idea. And it just takes like.
There was, I remember seeing a video a while ago. Somebody took a 45 album of Dolly Parton doing Jolene.
Yeah.
And then played it at 33. And it sounds like a guy. And it's just like this, like. It's like this sad. It totally did the same thing just by slowing it down.
They've seen even to more extreme. They take Justin Bieber and slow it down like 1,000 times, and it becomes this like cinematic, like orchestral ambient music. Wow. It's like it sounded really cool, and it was just like Justin Bieber, like I don't know, something bubbly, like I don't know, but it's not what you were expecting from it.
I read a story like last week where Taylor Swift released a single as a 45. Yes, did you see that?
Yeah, people were putting it on at 33. Yeah. Like, why does it sound like a man singing?
When's she going to come out with her real song?
That is funny to me. Yeah. Like, I guess it's one of those things that you don't really have to understand the technology until it becomes an issue. Like,
yeah.
I guess I kind of discovered that. So I recently got into like vintage analog photography, so like film photography, and just like bought a couple old used cameras on eBay, and like have learned, had to teach myself how to use an old camera and like use an actual like light meter and adjust the sensitivity of it, and it's like these are all settings that your phone has for in the camera, but it's like I never had to understand what they did or why they work the way they do, and like having to learn it and then being able to kind of reverse engineer that and apply it back into the digital world. So like I do have a nice DSLR camera, and like so now I have a better idea of what I'm doing when I'm shooting with the DSLR camera, because I actually had to figure out how to work the thing, you know what I mean, instead of have it work itself. Like I don't know, it's kind of one of those things where our devices are getting smarter, but I'm not sure they're always making us smarter.
Yeah,
you know, like,
for sure.
Yeah, like it's definitely humans don't. I mean, it's definitely a good thing, but humans don't have to work nearly as hard as they did 20 to 50 years ago. Just like it's just a modern. I don't know. It's a fact of life of modernization, I guess. Like,
yeah, I mean the point of technology is. Part of the point of technology is just make things more convenient for us.
Yeah, make life easier.
Yeah, life keeps getting easier as technology keeps getting advanced, and like for the normal folk like us.
Yeah, it's between that and stealing our data. Those two things.
Or
make it easier.
If you're like my dad, then technology becomes a fight. But that's, I guess, he just turned 70 last week, so he's. A little generational difference there.
Yeah.
Like,
well, I'm 36, and it even took me a little bit like to accept how fast things were changing, like as they were changing, as I was like in my early 20s, even like like the way I grew up, like this isn't how the future's gonna be, at all.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, I lived through that where it's like. Remember going and knocking on your friends' doors, calling their home phone, having to memorize phone numbers and things like that, or it's just like that's almost like frowned upon nowadays. You show it show up at somebody's
don't
house
just show
like
up.
unannounced.
Who does
like,
that?
Yeah, it's like rude now. It's like, oh geez, no, people used to like actively plan for visitors and like be happy when people would drop by. Like I don't know.
Like I just graduated from college at 40 years old, so I would tell these, these students these stories. Tell them these stories. It's like gather around the old man. I'm going to tell you some things. I was explaining like how eBay worked before PayPal. Like, you had to mail them a check and then just wait weeks. You don't know if your stuff's coming. I was explaining that one blew their mind, and then something they hadn't thought of. I'm like, imagine you're like 13 years old and you got a crush on this girl and you got to call her, but her parents are going to answer the phone. She doesn't have her own phone. And they were like, I never thought of that. Like, that's terrifying. Yeah. Yes, it was. Now we're hard.
Right. Now we just send text messages.
Yeah.
All right.
My old man rant is over.
We've come a long way from
Yeah. All right, Nick Creme. Anything else you want to say to our listeners about Camel Butter? Anything like life, movies? What you got? What kind of shampoo you use and that fluffy hair, man?
Olive oil.
Olive oil is great. It's great. It's more of a skincare thing.
Yeah.
We actually do sell a lot of olive oil soap at the store.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Try that out.
I actually use Herbal Essence right now. So shampoo and conditioner. Keep it smooth.
All right, if you're listening on Spotify, go to our YouTube channel so you can see his hair.
It's all natural.
And the sweater.
Or Blake actually is talking about getting a perm so he can match the curls a little bit. Although, I don't know, I think he would probably come out looking more like Rick James.
Yeah. Does he have long hair still?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know if he was totally serious about that or not, but I just, ever since he said that, I've been imagining Blake with a perm, and it's something that you would want to see.
Got a series or show you're watching right now?
So actually, it's kind of a YouTube series. It's a shout out to this guy Brent Underwood. It's called Ghost Town Living. He has taken over a old mining town called Cerro Gordo in California, like Death Valley, and it's been over a year now, and like he's just been kind of building. It's kind of the journey of him building it back up, and then also exploring these caves, and just it's been an awesome journey to watch his like cinematography skills grow, and just like the views are incredible. Somewhere I've never been personally. I definitely feel called to go out west.
Yeah.
I would like to visit there someday, but yeah, it's definitely worth the watch. It's better than most for television shows that I've seen that are like produced today.
Yeah, I've been following some of those.
Yeah.
You know, he goes down and in these mine shafts and finds all kinds of cool shit.
For sure. Yeah, it was one of those things where like I got sucked into it, and I ended up just like watching every single video. It's like you had binge watch a Netflix series or something. And yeah, now I think he debuts every Sunday night. So I'm just like,
cool.
Keep posted and check it out.
Check him out on Sunday night. Check us out Monday morning.
There you go. Excellent.
All right, Nick Creme, it was great to have you here, man. It's
been a
very
pleasure.
Informative. Looking forward to seeing more from Camel Butter.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you guys.
Chuck Kaminsky from Basement Trader. And thank you all of you supporting the podcast so far.
All right.
Peace.